What's up, guys? Your boys, 22K13. We're going to talk about 10 best uses for Finn Balor in WWE. Let's likely expect that by July 5th, 2015, that Finn Balor will have unseated Kevin Owens as the NXT champion after defeating him in Tokyo, Japan. Balor's ride has been nothing short of stunning and impact-filled since his WWE signing. His more than a decade of wrestling experience has proven beneficial in his almost immediate inclusion in top storylines and feuds in NXT. More so than Owens, Tommy, and a few other indie and globally renowned names, Balor likely also the most ready of performers for the main roster spotlight. This is quite likely to expect that his time being solely an NXT performer will be short, and much like Kevin Owens and having the NXT championship, he will appear on both the NXT and main WWE roster. But the question remains, what role will Balor play in WWE moving forward? Or maybe it's a lot easier to ask what role won't Balor play in the company. With his Magnificent Idol look, two characters, physical presentation, and top-notch wrestling skills, the possibilities are endless. Therefore, this list is of the 10 of what could be the best uses of what are likely mainly for Finn Balor as he heads into what should be a very bright future in WWE. Number 10. Tagging with Neville's. As with most WWE performers who have spent time in Japan in the past decade, Neville and Finn Balor were at one time both stalwart members of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Division. Playing up that friendship between the new to Raw SmackDown Balor and the already quite over Neville is a smart idea. It's as simple as having the New Day beating down Neville after a match as they would just ask who's going to save you now. The light dim, a red light watches over the arena, and out comes Demon Balor, who scared off the New Day without even touching him. The next week on Raw, Neville and Balor cut a promo where Neville welcomed Balor and explained that they known each other for some time. The pair then wrestled the New Day, with Balor getting the win via the coup de grace. Number 9. Finn Balor vs. King Barrett. Finn Balor could debut on Raw and SmackDown with a series of squash match wins, then be interrupted after a victory by King Barrett, who said that Balor is impressive and that he wants a match. Balor grabbed the mic and said that he'll put up the NXT Championship against him anytime. Barrett said that he doesn't want to win the belt, but that he wants to slay the demon. Balor said that the demon only comes out when provoked, which makes Barrett hit him with a bull hammer backstage. Balor take a few weeks off to sell injury from what would be a series of bull hammer, then return at a pay-per-view as the Demon. The Demon kick out of the bull hammer and win. Number 8. The Demon vs. the Lone Wolf. Baron Corbin undefeated in NXT. The idea of Corbin hitting champion Finn Balor with the end of day after a rematch win over Kevin Owens made terrific sense as the start to a feud. Baron Corbin not indie darling pro wrestler, but then again, he also had an impressive look and is a performer that the company is obviously high on for the future. Seeing what he got in a match, series of matches, or feud with Balor is a worthwhile idea to consider. Number 7. The Miz. Something truly worth considering is the idea of Finn Balor in a feud with The Miz. Before you laugh this off as complete ridiculousness, keep reading. Finn Balor could debut on Raw one week, and then the next week be interrupted backstage by The Miz, who introduced himself and said the following: Finn, I wanted to introduce myself to you because we have so much in common, and I want you to be comfortable here in WWE. You an international megastar who were globally renowned before WWE. Just like I'm an international megastar who were globally renowned before WWE. So we should be friends. This turned into a series of backstage vignettes where The Miz is attempting to befriend Balor, and Miz also comes down to call his matches too. This goes on for a few weeks. Then Balor grabs the mic and says to Miz that he knows what Miz is doing, and that no, he doesn't want to be Miz's friend. Balor can debut the Demon against Miz after eating a skull-crushing finale, and in the promo leading up to the match, can have one of his first big WWE moments, and saying that the match is going to be like a horror film, and that the Miz isn't going to be the hero, but that he's going to be the hunted, just for the purpose of giving Balor's character some added depth and epic scope. A hero like The Miz would be invaluable in the role of getting him over. Number 6. Balor wants the briefcase. Finn Balor debut and his first feud is with Sheamus. The idea would be that Sheamus is Balor's debut opponent at a pay-per-view. Balor does well, head to the top rope for the coup de grace, and Sheamus head for higher ground and accept a DQ loss. In the back, he said that the double stump is dangerous and that he's just smarter than every NXT wrestler. In the next part of the plot, the story moves to a Raw rematch where Balor can go up to the top again and Sheamus roll away and roll out of the ring one more time. The idea is that the next week there's another rematch of the same match, and Kane can warn Sheamus that if he rolls away again, he'll have to put the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. Sheamus agrees, but when Balor goes up top as Sheamus rolls to the outside, Balor leaps onto him and a brawl ensues. Kane then hits the ramp as the two are separated, and the match is set for the pay-per-view. At the pay-per-view, Balor hits the double stomp, but Sheamus' foot is near the rope, and he's able to break the count. He gets his wit about him and wins with a brogue kick after Balor hit an exposed turnbuckle. This set up Balor demanding another shot at the briefcase, but saying that he'll put up his NXT championship for it, because he wants to be WWE champion that much more. This in order to win the briefcase, he had to vacate the NXT championship. Balor has the match and lose in heartbreaking fashion. He given up the NXT championship, but at the same time has expressed his passionate desire to one day be WWE champion. The loss put much needed heat on Sheamus, plus also would then allow Balor to easily slide into, say, a US championship feud with Kevin Owens, who could belittle Balor for his losses. Number 5. Balor vs. Zayn. Sami Zayn's second match back after defeating Kevin Owens in a non-title match, presuming that he's US champion, should be versus NXT champion Finn Balor. Sami defeating Balor for the NXT championship would be huge, and will give Zayn the legitimacy he needs after time off to be again seen in the same light by the WWE Universe. Finn Balor deserves the NXT championship, but regarding his WWE career, he's 34 and should be fast-tracked to other, much larger opportunities as soon as possible. Rehabilitating Zayn from a character standpoint by having him defeat a top-tier performer like Balor in a competitive babyface versus babyface match would be much to WWE benefit. Number 4. Kane. Finn Balor Demon wear red and black. Kane calls the Demon and wear red and black too. WWE gotta be aware of this clear issue and realize that the main roster not big enough for two demons, right? Could Kane in-ring swan song be against Finn Balor? Think about it, then get excited. Number 3. The Joker and Harley Quinn. Finn Balor being the trainer of Becky Lynch is an idea that WWE should be contemplating using in a manner similar to Matt Hardy and Lita. Extrapolate this one step further to Finn Balor Demon having a female steampunk superheroine counterpart similar to a babyface take on the Joker and Harley Quinn. And you on to something. The Demon is a merchandise moneymaker. Being able to pair that with a female counterpart could be a huge merchandise bonanza. Balor and Lynch playing off of each other will certainly work too and give WWE a fresh dynamic for storyline and presentation too. Number 2. Balor vs. Joe. There are worse in Samoa Joe defeating Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. The two performers had never faced each other one-on-one, so it's a rare first matchup between international and independent names in NXT. Capitalizing on this match is an idea worth considering. With Joe possibly turning heel, Joe as a heel in NXT will likely be his best presentation. He's popular and established, but also the idea of Joe as a bully instead of as a babyface having to fight from the bottom and make comebacks certainly could make for more entertaining television. From a TV standpoint, NXT needs to make a few more single babyfaces and an angry champ who feels entitled to the belt instead of a sympathetic 300-pound ass kicker makes sense. And number one, Balor versus Orton. Dream match status, the Viper versus the Demon. Two of the most complete wrestlers in the world having a series of great matches. Want to motivate Randy Orton? Put him across the ring from Finn Balor and give them 30 minutes. Want to watch Finn Balor have a magical in-ring performance? Here's probably the best opponent he have in WWE for pulling that off. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.